or narwhals?
Yeah.
Unicorns or narwhals? Hey guys, it's Molly here again, and it's time for another Q&A video. I feel like it hasn't been that long since I did a Q&A video, but I'm currently pre-filming and I'm having to film like 8 videos in a very short period of time because I'm going to be away for pretty much the entirety of June. So my poor papa and my family pet Rory are bachelors home together, and Gallup, my mom, and I are going to be off traveling. So pre-filming it is, and when you're pre-filming a lot of videos, doing a Q&A is an easy another video to quickly get in there. So I'm doing a Q&A. I asked on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'll write them right here so you can see what my handles are. Is that what they're called? Handles? I feel like I haven't heard anyone use that word in a really long time. And they're always linked in the description box below. So if you want to be a part of the next Q&A, that's where you should go. You guys were crazy with the questions this time. Like, I've never gotten so many questions. On Instagram, I had over 100 questions, which is where I pulled most of them from. But Twitter, Facebook, like, there was so many questions. So thank you guys so much for wanting to know random facts about me. I don't think I'm that interesting, but I appreciate that you do, so thank you. And I have my mom behind the camera who's gonna ask the questions, and then I'm gonna repeat the questions to you. So we'll kind of like, my editor will edit her out. So if it's like very jump cutty, that's why. I requested that this video have nobody submitted any blindness related questions, because as much as my blindness is a part of me and I love doing videos about my blindness, and I know you guys love to learn about it, I also love to do stuff that isn't just about blindness. And I find usually when I do Q&As, people just submit questions all about blindness, because I get it, it's unique and you don't get the chance to ask a lot of blind people questions, and I'm a blind person who's totally willing to answer them. But this time I just thought we'd switch it up and do no blindness related questions. So here is what you want to know. First question: what's your favorite thing to do on a Saturday? So my absolute favorite thing to do is suspension yoga. I go to a suspension yoga class every Saturday at noon in all of the months that aren't winter months. So usually from January to March, Saturdays are spent downhill skiing. So that's what I love to do in those months. But typically all of the other months of the year, it's suspension yoga is like my absolute favorite thing to do on a Saturday. And typically I would do it with my best friend Shelby, and then we'd like go out for lunch or go to Starbucks or go shopping or just hang out and drink tea in my backyard. But June 1st, she moved to Calgary. So sad. So now I will be doing my suspension yoga alone. If you could travel backwards or forwards in time, which would you choose and why? I think this is a really good question, and it's so hard because I don't want to spoil my future, but at the same time, a lot of the anxiety I feel is about my future, like just the unknown. You know, like will I find a man to love me, and will I be successful with my career, and all of those kind of typical things that people in their young 20s are stressed out about. So I feel like that would kind of help, like knowing some of my future would help take away that stress now, but at the same time it's like takes away from the surprise. But going back in time, I would only want to go back in time if I could relive like an amazing moment of my life, like my trip to Paris that I took through Sunshine Dreams for Kids Foundation, or my first time ever speaking on a We Day stage to 20,000 people at the Air Canada Centre in Toronto. Like those like really amazing moments. If I could revisit those, I'd probably want to go back in time. Have you ever wanted to live during a different time period? I guess this is kind of similar to the other question, but I think there's a lot of different eras that interest me. Like I feel like the 1920s was a really cool time for, you know, like makeup and the flapper dresses and kind of women starting to express themselves more through fashion and makeup, which as a fashion and makeup lover, I love. And like the 60s and 70s was a really cool time. But there's a lot of things in those time periods that were really horrible and that I would never want to live through. And so if I think about the pros versus the cons of living in different eras, I would rather live where I am right now, especially as a blind person. I know this wasn't supposed to have anything to do with blindness, but I'm blind, so I have to talk about this part. Like, technology has opened an entire world for me and for blind people in general, with being able to get jobs and just everything. So, and education, like being able to learn. So for that reason, I would have to pick just staying right where I am, living in the 2017. That's not a time period. Living in 2017. There we go. What color toothpaste do you use? Good question. And I feel like most people will be like, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. But it does matter. I always use white toothpaste, or I always try to use white toothpaste, because my teeth like pick up stain really easily, which isn't ideal. So I always try to avoid anything that would stain my teeth, like dark drinks like coffee or Coca-Cola, red wine, and colored toothpastes, that kind of thing. That's what my, I was gonna say my vet. I don't see a vet, my dog sees a vet. That's what my dentist recommends, is white toothpaste. So I always use white toothpaste, and I go get my teeth de-stained every 3 months. Would you rather go skydiving or swimming with sharks? I don't know who would answer swimming with sharks to this. Absolutely skydiving. Skydiving is definitely on my bucket list. Like, if I could go skydiving tomorrow, I would go skydiving tomorrow. I really want to go skydiving. And I know it's like I can't see any of the beautiful sights that you see as you're flying down from the sky, but I just want to feel that feeling of free falling. Although I think it will be terrifying, but I really want to skydive. And I've swam with dolphins, which was fun, but like, it's not something I need to repeat, and certainly not with sharks. Do you have any habits that you always do that others describe as being cute? I don't know, Mom, do I? Do I have any cute habits?
Oh gosh.
My mom doesn't think anything I do is cute.
There's so many things you do that's cute, so it's gotta be you is cute.
Aw, just being me is cute. Thank you, Mom. What a mom compliment. One thing that I never noticed that I did, I don't know if you noticed I do it, Mom, but I never noticed I did it until somebody very close to me a few years ago mentioned it, and he thought it was like the cutest thing, and he would always point it out when I did it. And that's when I get really excited and I start talking fast, like my tongue almost gets like stuck, so my words kind of roll. So like, what do you mean? Like, my tongue rolls words. So like, what do you mean? Or that kind of thing. And it just makes this like weird rolling sound. And he thought it was really cute. I also just, it's not a cute habit, but something I do a lot is I fiddle with my rings. Like, I'm constantly twisting them to make sure they're sitting in the right spots, because I never take these 5 rings off. And so I'm always like fiddling with them. I guess it's a bit of a nervous habit too. Like, before I go on stage or something, I'm always like checking that my rings are perfect. And yeah, I don't know. Wait, I want to know from you guys, what is like your weird cute habit that you have? Like, what habit do you have that somebody in your life thinks cute? I'm curious now. What's your favorite teapot? That is a weird question. It's not, I guess, like, I'm a tea lover. And if you're a loose leaf tea lover, you understand this question. And my answer, you need to go out and buy this. It's expensive. I'm not gonna lie. And it's not really technically a teapot, but it's the Breville loose leaf tea maker. I don't know what it's called, but it's by Breville. And we got it at Best Buy, but it basically is like the dream contraption for loose leaf tea. And like I said, if you drink loose leaf tea multiple times a day, it's like a godsend. So basically, you're able to pick exactly what temperature your water boils to. You're able to pick what type of tea you're making. So they have a button for like herbal, green, white, black, like all of the different types of tea. And then it has how steeped do you want it. So you can do like very steeped, lightly steeped, or moderately steeped. And then it actually, once the water's boiled, it drops the tea leaves down into the water, and once it's fully steeped, it picks them up out of the water, and it keeps the tea at the exact same temperature for up to half an hour after you've made the tea. And on top of that, you can do a reheat button. So if you like drank some of it but not all of it, and then 3 hours later you want to go drink the rest of it, you just click the reheat button. It heats it directly to that exact same temperature without dropping the leaves into it again, so it doesn't get like more steeped. I could not say enough about this tea maker, so go get you one. Do you ever want kids? I feel like this is going to be a controversial answer, but if I had to answer right now, no, I don't want children. I really feel like the work I do with speaking and with mentoring youth and that kind of thing, like I feel like I love putting all of my energy into those kids that I'm helping and that I'm working with. And I don't think it would be fair to having my own kids to them because I'm so focused on helping so many other people that I wouldn't be able to maybe put the love they deserve or the time they deserve, or my job would suffer. Like the kids that I'm trying to help that maybe don't necessarily like have parents that can mentor them or influence them in a positive way and that they really need that person in their life. I feel like I wouldn't be giving them my all. So I feel like I would rather help a lot of kids than raise my own children because I don't, like there's so many people who can raise children and there's so many kids out there who need a home. So maybe if I did want children one day, I might consider adoption. I'm not sure, but at this point, I don't think I want children. It's just not something that I've ever seen for myself. However, I'm really into going to see psychics. I know, weird, but I'm just into that stuff. And every psychic I've ever seen says I'm gonna have one kid and it's gonna be a baby boy, which terrifies me. Like if I had to pick a boy or a girl, I'd want a boy, but just the idea of having children terrifies me. Please, Lord, not soon. No. If you could have any wild animals as a pet, what would it be? Now, this on the other hand, like I don't want my own kids per se, but I want a lot of animals. Like I want a zoo of animals. I want monkeys. I want bunnies. I want miniature ponies. I want, of course, my guide dog. I want a Bengal cat. I want no birds, because you know me, you know I'm terrified. I really, really want kangaroos. They've domesticated kangaroos, so I'd really love some kangaroos, like at least one. Yeah, I want just like my own little farm. Do you like unicorns or narwhals?
Yeah.
Unicorns or narwhals? Better. That's a tricky word to say. I would have to say mermaids. Do you like musicals or theater? If so, what's your favorite show? I do. I love musicals. And I think my 3 favorite musicals are Wicked. That's such an amazing musical. I've seen it twice, once on Broadway in New York City, and it was just incredible. That was for my 16th birthday. It was amazing. I love Kinky Boots. If you've ever seen it, great show. And I love Book of Mormon. Those are my 3 favorites. What's your least favorite food? My least favorite food is definitely cilantro because I'm just one of those people who, when they put it in their mouth, it's like overwhelming, it's overpowering, it's the only thing I can taste. It tastes disgusting to me and I have to spit it out. So definitely cilantro and black licorice because it makes my throat swell up, so no thanks. Final question of this Q&A. What's your favorite breed of dog that is not the breed that your guide dog Gallop is? So for those who don't know, my guide dog Gallop, who is just adorable, is half black lab, half Bernese mountain dog. My first guide dog, Gypsy, was 3/4 Bernese mountain dog and 1/4 lab, so she was also a lab Bernese, but she had more Bernese mountain dog in her. And I don't know if this is cheating, but my favorite breed that is not the lab Bernese, which is what my 2 guide dogs were, is Bernese mountain dogs. If I could get a purebred Bernese mountain dog, which the Mirror Foundation, where I get my guide dogs from, does do for guide dogs, I really hope that one day I get a guide dog that's a purebred burner. There's some negatives to a purebred, like burners typically have a life expectancy of 8 to 9 years max, which is obviously not very long, but they're worth it. They're such incredible dogs. Like, they're just so calm and sweet and gentle, and they're these big furry beasts, but they're so good for children because they're just the gentlest, sweetest creatures and so full of love. And I just think they're such beautiful dogs. Like, not only physically, like their fur and their size I love, but just spiritually, like they have such a beautiful nature. So I love purebred burners. They're my fave. Let me know if you guys have a dog and like what type of dog and what the dog's name is, because I love hearing dogs' names. I'm just very into names. So let me know. And like I said, that's it for this Q&A. Thank you guys so much for submitting questions. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing some of the answers, and I'll see you in the next video.